The announcements module is a nice and easy way to have a list of upcoming events in the life of your ministry. To add an announcements module to a page, you simply select it from the Select a Module drop-down list. We can give it a title. In this case, let's call it Upcoming. We'll decide which pane we'd like to put it in. I always try to put things in the top pane if there's nothing else on the page, so that it shows up right at the top. And you click Add. And when I do that, you'll see that now I have an empty announcements module. It's called Upcoming, and it shows up here in the top pane. And my next step is to actually add an announcement. In order to add an announcement, I simply roll over the blue drop-down arrow and choose Add New Announcement. When I do, I see a new dialog box comes up here, and I'm able to enter the title of the announcement. In this case, let's say we were going to do a 30-hour famine event. So I'm going to put in 30-hour famine as the title. If I wanted to have an image that was set with that announcement, I could select an image from my site or an image from another URL. In this case, I'll leave it on none because I don't have a 30-hour famine image. Here I can do a description. So I'll put in a quick description of the event. So let's say I want to say, come and join us in partnering with the hungry. And again, this is the rich text editor, so I can do all kinds of different things here. If I wanted to add links or images or tables, I can change the fonts and the colors and all kinds of different stuff. But in this case, I'm just going to make it real simple. Come and join us in partnering with the hungry. Now, one of the cool things about the announcements module is that I can create an easy link from this particular announcement. Right now it's set to none, so that means there's not going to be a link. But let's say I wanted to link to another URL. I could simply click the URL box, type in the URL, and then it'll have a little read more option, and I'll show you what that looks like, so that when people click on read more, it'll take them to that other URL. Or if I wanted to link to another page on my site, let's say I had a hidden page that didn't show up in my navigation menu, but had all kinds of information about 30-hour famine. I could link people there. Or let's say I had a file. Let's say I had a flyer on my site, a PDF that I wanted people to download. I could click on the File button and point to that particular file. User, I can't really see a case where you'd want to link to a user, but the option is there if you did. So in our case, let's link to a URL, and I'll click that button. The page will reload, and then I can type in www.30hourfamine.org. And I want to open this in a new browser window. And I always want to do that if I'm linking to a website outside of my own website, so that people still stay on my website, but a new window opens. You have publish date options here, when you want it to show up, when you want it to expire. I typically don't use those. I just let it start on today's date, and when I want it to be gone, I come back and delete it. But you can use those if you'd like. And then I'll click Update. When you do, you'll see that under the announcements module here, I still call it Upcoming, but now I have my first announcement, and it's called 30-Hour Famine. It has the date, today's date on there, and I'll show you how to get rid of that, because lots of people don't like today's date because they want to actually point to the day that the announcement is, or the event is actually happening. And then it has this link. It says Read More, and if I click on that link, a new window is going to open. And inside that new window is actually the 30-Hour Famine website. Now I'll close that window and go back to our site here. Now to get rid of this, what's called a publish date, here's the process. I roll over the blue drop-down arrow. I choose Settings. I scroll down to the very bottom. I expand Announcement Settings. Scroll down again, and I'll see a little bit of HTML code here. You don't have to know what all this means. All you have to do is simply delete this that says Publish Date, and the brackets around it, and the dash that's before it. And then click Update, and you'll see that the publish date is now gone. So I have 30-Hour Famine, come join us in partnering with the hungry, and I have a link to the 30-Hour Famine website. Of course, if this were a real announcement on my church's website, I'd want to give some more details I'd want to make it look a little better, maybe add an image or two. But that's the gist of the announcements module. It's a great one to use to keep people informed of what's going on.